All right, Detroit Lions get some bad news today, man. I guess it's just when it rains, it pours. A lot of great information coming out of league meetings today, but then you hear stories like this, and yeah, it's tragic, right? Lions are losing one of their own, a defensive end that we were hoping was going to have an impact on the field this season, was going to be able to get back to playing football, and that doesn't sound like the case. So, veteran John Cominsky has decided to hang it up, and it states this is. Risden here states that due to the medical injuries, right, the injuries that John has sustained throughout his career here, he's decided to call it quits. Now, he suffered a knee injury in training camp last summer that caused him to miss the entire season. As Cominsky notes, obviously the injuries have forced him to retire. Here's the note from John Cominsky that he posted earlier today. So it says, after 6 years in the NFL, I am officially medically retiring. I am proud of the career I had, but have accumulated a combination of injuries that are overwhelming my desire to continue playing. Thank you to the Atlanta Falcons for believing in me and drafting an under-the-radar D2 prospect. Thank you to the Detroit Lions for grabbing me off waivers and giving me a second contract and allowing me to show what I can do as an NFL starter. Thank you to the front offices and coaches that helped build me up and believed in me. Who would have thought a small town, Barberton, Ohio quarterback would find his way to sacking NFL quarterbacks? It's come full circle for John. Yeah, I'd say so. It absolutely has. And now it makes you wonder, what's next for the guy? You know, what is he going to do post NFL career? I'd have to tip my hat to you, say, John, man, look, I appreciated the hell out of John. I thought he was one of the scrappiest guys on the football field. Always put it out there 110% each and every day. And I know a lot of fans weren't extremely excited, about John Cominsky, but I got to tell you, every time that he put the work in, he put the work in. Like he did not hold back. And when you needed to play, man, he was there to give it to you. So big shout out to John Cominsky and family. Obviously, with injuries being too much, sometimes it's just too much, right? And you have to do what's right for you and what's right for your family. Most importantly, move forward. Here's another article here by Christian Boer, kind of stating the same thing. Really not much anything different here. Just primary reason is injury. The torn MCL that he suffered last year obviously was just too much. Man, the Lions went through a lot last year with injuries. And you hope it's not going to be another situation this year of a lot of the same thing. So we'll see who the Lions, decide to try to pick up in his place. Now, I don't believe Cominsky was actually on the roster or even being carried on the 90 right now or anything. So there was just the potential and conversation that maybe, he might have an opportunity to compete this summer, but that's all but over now. And John's going to retire. So other news popping up today, talking about Aiden Hutchinson, Jamison Williams, host of other football players today, and obviously some Cleve Raymond news earlier this morning on some contract extensions or contract restructuring, excuse me. And look, it's all great news. There's a lot that's about to happen for the Lions. Like, this is our third wave of free agency, is kind of these league meetings before you get into the draft, and a lot's going to change. So I want to read one more thing here about Cominsky. Okay, so he said that he learned a lot of his time. I learned a lot in my time playing football that will absolutely benefit me moving forward. I had the privilege to play in a lot of big games, or a lot of big-time games on big stages. I shared the field with players I admired. As a young athlete, I shook hands with Hall of Famers and met some of the best men and women on the planet. I walked into NFL stadiums that I had never been in before, not to watch a game, but to play. I'm glad that he's taking, this high road approach, right? He's walking tall. and he's going to leave the NFL with everything that he brought with it, which was high energy and determination. Good athlete, better teammate. Now he's going to be, full-time father and husband, do whatever he's doing after football, but wish him the best of luck. So like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of news shaking right now at the league meetings, and there's going to be some bigger news that's going to be popping probably later on tonight, if not by tomorrow morning. Expect it. It's coming. Just a little while ago, I reported on Zadarius Smith, how the Detroit Lions are still in conversation with his agent, and that's something that I've been reporting on for a while now, that I expected Z to come back, and I'm kind of expecting this to happen after the draft, maybe sometime in the summer. Like, Z could sit out that long. And it's not that he doesn't want to be on the team or be with the team. It's going to end up being, I think, a situation where the right situation has to be in play for the Lions. They have to be successful in this draft. If they miss on a player and they have a spot open for Z, great. There might be a spot open anyway. If you remember last year, pay attention to this as we get into the summer. Pay attention to how many players we actually have on the roster, the 90-man. So I want to say throughout most of the summer last year, there was always a spot or two open. And even, you got the yawns, even with the 53-man roster last year, there was always a spot or two open. So I'm expecting the same thing to happen this year. And I think there's going to be a lot of fluidity. I think that is very strategic. I think it is smart by Brad Holmes to do that, to leave a spot open so that he can snag somebody right now and not even have to think about who he has to move off the roster and who he could potentially lose. So, see what happens. Anyway, this is just a little quickie. John Cominsky, man, sucks, dude, but best of luck. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? We'll see you later. Go Detroit Lions. Bye-bye.